So Pat McAfee didn't have to take back his words, but Shannon Sharpe said stole. Brett Favre will probably want him to take back his words. That's probably the part that they would need to figure out if they want to reach a settlement.
Continue, RJ.
Yeah. So no, but I think what's interesting to see, what's interesting to see now is what will happen in the other two cases that Brett Favre filed against, respectively, Shannon Sharpe and Chet Wife, the state auditor of Mississippi, because that might give us an indication as to what would have happened or could have happened if Pat McAfee and Brett Favre did not enter into a deal with each other to settle the dispute. So we'll definitely see what will happen with regards to that. We'll discuss it in a bit more, or I don't know if you want to do it now, but
You can do it now.
yeah. So in the case, I think the difference between Pat McAfee and
Shannon.
Chet Wife and Shannon Wife, wife. What's what's
What's
what's
with you and
what's
the
with
wife thing?
what's with the wife?
You started off with the baby mama. You're still talking about wives, man. Come on. It's Chet White. White.
If Chet
And
White,
then Sharp. Don't get the two mixed up. It's Shannon Sharp, as in sharpening,
your tools.
sharpening your tool. Yes. Pause. Pause.
No,
Don't sharpen the tool as well. Anyway,
different show. No, but the
it's a different show. Yes, but continue.
the difference is that we use the word comedic, and of course, in Pat McAfee's case, it was obvious that he was making jokes because that's the nature of his show. Now, in the case of Chet White, in his situation, White had a different role, and his role was as a state auditor, so as a public official, which means that his words might have more weight, because if a public official says that someone has stolen money or misappropriated money, then that's a source that you can use as a, news outlets can use as a source in their respective articles, right? So in Chet White's case, it's like the opposite of Pat McAfee. I have to keep thinking of the names, right? But it's different than Pat McAfee's case, because in Pat McAfee's case, first of all, Pat McAfee is a reporter reporting on news that was publicized, while Chet White was probably at the essence, at the core of the discovery and all those things. So that's one difference. The second difference is that Pat McAfee was obviously making jokes and Chet White was not. Now, Chet White did go on Twitter and made some crazy remarks.
Twitter fingers.
But their position is different, right? So I think in Chet White's case, it might not transition so well. Now, Shannon Sharpe is a bit interesting because I think he's right there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, he is a reporter reporting on the news that was already made public. As we said in the previous show, he wasn't the one that broke the news. The news was already publicized. However, the way he formulated his remark was a bit different.
A bit. Yeah. Are you sure it's a bit? No.
It was a bit different, right? It in his case, you could clearly see that he was not making a joke, that he really believed that Pat McAfee, or at least Brett Favre, was guilty. And he also made some remarks saying um, that he's disappointed because this is the first time. And Shannon Sharpe actually said stole. He didn't say misappropriated. I don't recall if he's even said alleged. But of course, you need to take. So what Brett Favre is saying, as we previously mentioned, that because we can argue that the clip, that's part of that statement he made was just part of a whole show, a bigger show, and you would need to go look at the context to see what exactly uh, to see what exactly to see the context in which Shannon Sharpe made his remarks, because perhaps the context can save him. Probably at the end of at the beginning of the show, they said, "Breaking news, guys! Brett Favre is being accused of whatever, fill in blank," and you can use that as an argument. But what Brett Favre is claiming is that, hey, even if that is true, that clip, that segment was clipped into a small 30-second, maybe 60-second clip containing just solely that part, that remark. And I'm not sure right now if it was also published on Shannon Sharpe's page, IG page, or any social media page, but it was a clip that went viral and got millions and millions of views and a lot of reactions as well. So I say that to say that it's interesting it's because the cases aren't similar, perhaps it will be more difficult for them to enter into a settlement agreement. Nonetheless, I do see a advantage. I do see an important reason why Brett Favre should seriously consider settling at least with Shannon Sharpe, and that's simply because Shannon Sharpe is another. It represents another case, which means you're fighting a case. You're fighting against a media personality here, next to two other cases. Now, the case against Chet White, you can say, is closely related, as I already said, but Shannon Sharpe wasn't. So I still think the chances that he will beat Shannon Sharpe in a court case is not that big. It would be more advantageous for him to try to enter into a settlement agreement, eliminating one case, because he had 4 cases ongoing. With Pat's case out the way, he currently has 3. I think it would be best to remove the Shannon Sharpe case as well. He doesn't stand a good chance. I mean, he might still win, but is it worth the money and the time to invest resources into that case? I don't think so. I think it would be best to try to enter into a similar deal and then focus. I mean, he definitely needs to focus on the Mississippi case because he can't back out of that one. He tried to with his motion to dismiss, the second motion to dismiss, which was denied. But I mean, Chet White, I can understand why he would. I can understand why he would say no. You know what? I'm definitely not going to take away this claim, this court case. One last thing that might stand in the way of Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee and Brett Favre entering into a settlement agreement. for Pat, it was easier to. Pat didn't need to take back his words. He just had to.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? Yeah.
He just had
You
to.
have to repeat what he already said in February.
Yeah, he just.
I mean, guys, go watch our show, the first show in the playlist. We played the video where he states we said allegedly, and it was all for jokes. So we're now a couple of months later. He has to say the same thing he said during at the first moment when he was served.
Yeah, but another. Yeah, but and so Pat McAfee didn't have to take back his words, but Shannon Sharpe said stole, and
Not only that, it
Brett.
was very passionate.
Yeah, with passion, with a lot of passion. So of course it can. I mean, it's imaginable. It's
Can you
probably
can he
that.
humble himself? Is that the words you're trying to search for?
No, I mean, yeah, but I mean to say that Brett Favre will probably want him to take back his words.
Mhm. But someone has to humble themselves in order
And
to.
Shannon Sharpe is, we know what type of person he is. He's a very, or at least he's a very competitive person, passionate person. And I still think that I mean, it's still difficult for him for Brett Favre to win, in my opinion. But I mean, a judge might rule differently. But that's probably the part where they would need to, that they would need to figure out if they want to reach a settlement. Because Shannon Sharpe, I believe, also wants to reach the settlement.
Of course, I mean, you're
But
spending money trying to defend yourself. The big question we have here is: will someone, or in this case, Shannon, humble himself and sit during an undisputed episode and read what Pat just read in
I think you would.
front of everyone?
No, I think you would. Yeah,
I mean, you should. I
I
mean,
think you would. Yeah,
just put the ego aside and say, I could have been wrong.
I think you would. And he is, and I can also imagine how he would say it. It would be a clip. It would be a clip.
It will be a clip we cannot show because
Yeah, it will be a clip.
Undisputed will try to take down the whole life.